All the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup action is energized by Raceway. Hello race fans and welcome to round one of the new 2021 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup, energized by Red Square. We are down at the Killarney circuit in the mother city, and a big welcome to the new title sponsor Sunbet for putting their money and their brand behind the most successful two-wheeled racing series in the land. We've got the biggest names in the country coming to do battle. David Entercott, Rob Craig, the two local favourites are the men to beat, but Graham from Redar, that number one plate, once again back on that Stefanudi Stocks Kawasaki machine. Throwing the likes of Jacques Ackerman, another very fast local rider, Clint Bunton, Michael Smith, another top contender. But let's go to the man they're all trying to beat, Graham from Redar.
Obviously the plan is to win again. It's going to be a lot tougher this year. They've lowered the age limits. There's some really quick guys coming into the class. We're only second on the grid today, so there's some young fast guys in the class, some new blood, which is nice. But obviously the ultimate plan is to win.
Qualifying then done and dusted. Joining me as always is Dave Peterson on the front row. Dave Entercott in pole position ahead of from Redar, and Clint Munton there in third place.
Second row, Rob, is Rob Craig, Jacques Ackerman and Michael Smith. Look out for Smith around this track. He seems to like it, what I've seen in practice.
Brian Bontequin and Johan Leroux and Ian Harwood with one of his best qualifyings there on the third row.
And then you've got Ruan Oberholzer and you've got Travis Nordier with Henk Scaling rounding out row number 4.
Really fast lap times coming out of the Bridgestone R11 tyres on row number 5. Lafroche Fritz, Aubrey Marais and Landy Sinden, our lady rider.
Peter Clark at the back of the field. Welcome back, Peter. Good to see him back out on the track. He's taken a bit of a sabbatical, so we're hoping he'll do really well here at Killarney today. The wind is blowing as we're going out onto the track for race number 1. And that wind is blowing down the main straight, so we'll have to brake just a little bit earlier. We see Michael Smith just checking out the track as he goes out onto the surface.
Ruan Oberholzer going to also have to hang on for dear life onto that ZX10. This Killarney track getting a little bit bumpy over the years, and like you said, that wind plays a massive factor. Bike setup is crucial. The Bridgestone tyres working really good around the Killarney track. Make sure you join us after the break for race 1 action of the new 2021 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup Championship. Welcome back to the Killarney circuit in Cape Town, and it's time to get racing action underway for the 2021 season. All the talk is over, and Dave, I was about to say, all that hard work and training in the off-season is going to come to play, but not many of these guys do a lot of training in the off-season.
I don't think they do a great deal of training, but here it is, race 1 of the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. Who's going to win it? A lot of local pressure on Graham from Badar. Local riders know this track like the back of their hand. They've got the setup. So the Stefanudi Stocks rider is going to have his hands full with those Cape Townians. Right, we're moving off the grid. The 30-second board will be coming up shortly. There it is. And the red flag will run off the circuit, and we will be racing for 2021.
Let's see if those local riders can get themselves in front of the home town here. 5-second board is up. Graham from Redar right over that number 1 plate. It looks like a good start from David Entercott from pole position. From Redar with another brilliant start there. Entercott right over the front of that ZX10 machine of his. the Sarum Engineering bike. There's Rob Craig, another big contender. Oh, Johan Leroux just diving to the inside. And it does look like Van Breda has got out front. We can't see the Stefanuti Stocks bike, that big number 1. There's Travis Nordia coming down from East London, throwing himself in the mix just behind Brian Bontequinnen.
Great start from Michael Smith as well. Clint Munton, great to see him taking part in this cup as well. He retired from national racing probably 30 years ago, and great to see him making a comeback.
Another comeback coming from Brian Bontequinnen. He's been out for a couple of years now of ZX10 racing. He's back in it now and right in the mix. They're trying to get to the front of the field. Enticott all over the back of Van Breda. This is where it gets really bumpy. You can see those bikes just skipping over the bumps. Rob Craig carrying that brilliant momentum. It's all the way onto the back straight now. He's perfectly primed to pick up a double slipstream and potentially do it on the brakes into the final corner.
Graham Van Breda taking a wide sweeping line as they come through the old Malmesbury. He wants to get good drive down the back straight. He knows it's going to be Slipstream City. He's got Endicott and Craig all over him like a rash. Oh, Endicott going very wide down the back straight.
How's that? 9 almost abreast as they come down there. Clint Munton going around the outside. That's brilliant. Rob Craig, it looks like he's got out front. Yes, he has. So taken full advantage of that slipstream we talked about. Travis Nordia and Johan Leroux not too far behind, sticking onto the tail end of this. Jacques Ackerman, another local flavour thrown in. Dave, I remember coming racing in Cape Town. I hated it because these local boys are fast.
On board with Endicott as we go down into turn number 1, Holes Hook. I know they've got new names, Rob, but I like to call them the old names, actually.
Yeah, the old school stuff coming out there. Clint Munton, he also knows those old school names. This is brilliant from the guy, like you said, who hasn't been racing competitively for a long time, comes back into this national championship and mixing it right up in the top 5. Van Breda still holding off David Enticott. Enticott can see Rob Craig getting away. He will not want to see that, so he's going to try and make that move on the Stefanuti Stocks number 1 plate as soon as possible, because Craig, I've seen Rob Craig do this plenty of times at the top level of South African national racing. When he gets comfortable, it's hard to beat the Mad Max Kawasaki rider.
And that dice right behind Ackerman, Munton, Michael Smith, Brian Bontequinnen and Johan Leroux are hard at it out on the track with Travis Nordia and Ruan Oberholzer right in the mix as well. We go on board here with Michael Smith down the back straight. Look at the wind shaking his head around.
You can't even get under the bubble because you're literally holding on for dear life. Van Breda leg out, goes defensive once again. Ackerman on the inside of Enticott, can't make that stick. Munton just slowly starting to fall off the pace here. You can see that old school riding style there from Clint Munton. Van Breda now closing onto the back of Rob Craig. Lap time so impressive for the first race of the year on those Bridgestone tyres. These guys are on almost lap record pace here. Rob Craig setting the pace out front, but he's bringing Van Breda and Enticott along for the ride. Ackerman doing everything he can to hold on to, and Munton, like I said, he's starting to lose those claws on the back of the tailpiece of Ackerman.
Just looking down at the lap times, they've almost broken the lap record, which is held by Stuart McLeod from 1956.
It was literally that long ago. It feels like Stuart McLeod was dominating this field, but if he came back now, I think he's looking at this thinking, I'm glad I'm at home on the sofa or riding my bicycle, because these boys are going hard at it. Enticott looks very comfortable there, but he's trying to challenge Van Breda and he's trying to defend Ackerman, so he's in that hard little middle place at the moment. Rob Craig, prime position. Graham Van Breda doing a brilliant job because he's surrounded by some very fast Cape Townians by the mountain.
Don't forget, Dave Enticott has ridden against Graham Van Breda last year, whereas Munton and Craig, they're not too sure about Graham Van Breda, what he's going to be able to do later on in the race. Are the tyres going to go off on these Bridgestones? I don't think so. That's one of the features of these Bridgestone tyres. So we know they won't be going off later on in the race. Longevity is what it's all about. So they won't be conserving tyres. They'll just be putting the hammer down all the way through. Oh, look at that. Through that kink, how do they go through there like that?
What a beautiful shot. Enticott over the front, that front wheel pointing to the sky, trying to get the traction to the floor, and he's starting to put a charge on. Van Breda with his opposite leg out coming there. It's just trying to, he saw Enticott coming around the outside and thought, well, if you come there, I'm going to do a Rossi Marquez kick on you.
It was almost like he had the wrong foot out. I think it got blown off by the wind.
Yeah.
And even sometimes I've noticed coming up this little straight, Graham's foot hanging out off the side of the bike, but the speed that they're going on. Now, this is the hang scaling dice that's going on with Andy Sinden, Ian Harwood in the mix with Peter Clark just behind. Fantastic to see these dices all the way through the field. And Landy Sinden has picked up a pace from practice by almost a second a lap.
Yeah, she's improving every time she gets out on that ZX10 machine. The front four, you can see front 5 train now. And Michael Schmidt just behind there, and he'll not be too disappointed by this because he knows a lot of these guys aren't going to be in the full championship. Is there a move on the inside from Van Breda? Enticott going around the outside. You see Enticott taking those wide swooping Cape Town lines. Van Breda closing that inside line. Rob Craig's lost a little bit of pace here. Munton doing everything he can to hold on. He lost quite a bit of time coming out there, and it's so very easy to do. Down the front straight once again. Jacques Ackerman still in the mix. We've got a 4-way battle now for the podium positions.
Well, make that 5 because Munton's still in the running. Look at that.
Yeah, there's a five-way battle at the front. Graham from Bidar on the inside. Oh, does he get it stopped? Yes, he does. Trusting that Bridgestone front tyre. Massive lean angle there from Graham from Bidar, and he wants to get out of here. He's checking out to the mountain. He doesn't want these guys. Look at Rob Craig coming from miles back, coming from PE on the brakes there. Can't make it stick. Now from Bidar going to try and hold on to that. Look at this battle further down. Oh, Landy Sinden is all over the back of Henk Scaling. Two different lines there. I thought Landy Sinden was going to be rear-ending Henk Scaling there, but she holds on. Oh, come on. That's going to be very tight there. The Cape Town boys now do not want Joe Bergman coming out. Oh, Jacques Ackerman, where are you going?
Motocross track's on the other side of the circuit, isn't it?
Yo, they just had rallycross here, and I think Jacques Ackerman maybe wants to enter that. Did very well to hang on to that, but that has left the two out front now. Rob Craig and from Bidar with a little bit of breathing room. Enticott, look how much he closes on the brakes, so it takes that wide sweeping line. And again, Ackerman and Munton look like they really are having to push hard. Craig looks like he's dropping a little bit of pace, but from Bidar, this is impressive from the Joe Bergman.
He's pulled about just under a second now. Can he maintain that to the finish? He doesn't really want to get mixed up on this on-track drive, so if he can just break away. And the other foot out again once more. So he's really got a little balance going on the brakes there. It's a bit of a Sheridan Moraes move, I think.
Yeah, it's trying to do the share shuffle there. It's keeping himself balanced in this wind. It cannot be easy. You can see the riders. And his foot off again. That is just purely from the wind. He's trying to get his body over the front, standing on the pegs. And the wind is blowing so hard that it's pushing his feet off the peg. And that's allowed. Again, it's a yo-yo effect here. They're closing in and out. Ian Harwood taking advantage of a good qualifying. He's ahead there of Landy Sinden's got to the front of that pack. That is a brilliant ride. Aubrey Marais and Ruan Olberhauser just behind him. And Travis Nordia just up ahead of him. Once again, on board with Henk Scaling. How many times have we seen this dash?
Well, he's cleaned the windscreen luckily this time around, so we can see where we're going. But Landy Sinden is putting in a fantastic ride there. So great to see her dicing up with those guys.
David Enticott around the outside. He's trying to make it. Rob Craig on the inside. Enticott up into second place. So Rob Craig was trying to go on the inside, left the door open on the outside, and Enticott to full advantage.
Oh.
And again, that front wheel goes up, and Enticott
And
MotoGP style.
He's sliding through the kink, he really is. And look at that, as they come past that well over 200 km per hour. On the brakes into turn one, Enticott with a big wide line, but Graham van Bidar's got him covered. Stephanie Stocks has got this one at the moment.
I was saying maybe not that much pre-season fitness going on, but these guys have to have done some kind of fitness to keep up this pace. We're on lap record pace every lap. Oh, Dave Enticott around the outside. That is local flavor to perfection. Van Bidar goes defensive. Around the outside comes Enticott, and Rob Craig's made his way through. So a mistake there from Bidar. Maybe just thinking a little bit too defensive, and now he could find himself off the podium position because Jacques Ackerman is right on his tail on the inside. Not enough room there.
Ackerman is holding it tight. He's really loving this. He has his big chance to knock the number one plate off the podium. Jacques Ackerman is absolutely flying, and the best seat in the house is right behind him, Clint Munton.
And Dave Enticott, he's just saved the best for last because he is checking out of this race. Rob Craig trying to go with him. Van Bidar looks like a passenger at the moment. I don't know, maybe a little bit of arm pump or something. It's so common here at the Killarney track, and he's doing everything he can, getting all kinds of sideways there, trying to hold off the challenge coming from Jacques Ackerman and Clint Munton. That five-way battle is still going.
The pace is up somewhat, so I think that's what's happened. Endicott is up and he's broken the lap record. David Endicott actually owns a lap record around Killarney for the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup.
Yeah, that is phenomenal. That is such a fast time, especially so late on. David Enticott, how much confidence does he have in that motorcycle? He is picking and choosing his line at will, and these guys have no answer for Enticott out front. Your pole position, man, look at him. He really does look like Marc Marquez on that machine at the moment. Oh, around there, who's that? Ruan Olberhauser going, Aubrey Marais going around the outside, Ian Harwood now starting to drop back. Landy Sinden has got to the head of that pack and pulling away.
That is amazing. That's fantastic ride. I think it's probably the first time on a Kawasaki 1000 at this track. And you know what a handful these bikes are around the Killarney circuit with the little bumps and the corners. They really are a handful. Dave Endicott, he's made it his own. What a fantastic ride. And he's putting that bike anywhere he wants on the circuit.
Yeah, it's also that extra 17% horsepower that you get coming to the coast. Endicott just looks so smooth. Look at this last couple of laps. He has destroyed the field. Rob Craig still in second. Van Bidar has composed himself now, trying to put the pressure on Rob Craig, and he's brought Jacques Ackerman along for the ride. And unfortunately, Clint Munton has just lost out there, but still a brilliant ride as David Endicott, standing ovation for your new lap record holder and the first race winner of the 2021 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. This is a flawless performance by the local man.
Checkered flag is out. That's the end of the first race of 2021 with Sunbet and energized by Red Square. Good to see Red Square still involved in this series, one of the longest lasting sponsorships around. There it is, David Endicott from Rob Craig, Graham from Barrage, Jacques Ackerman.
Clint Munton brilliantly there in 5th place. Michael Smith, the best of the rest from the Joburg boys in 6th, just ahead of the returning Brian Bontekonen in 7th. Johan Leroux, a brilliant 8th. Travis Nordia, top 10 there for him in 9th. And Ruan Olberhauser brilliantly there in 10th place. Landy Sinden just outside that top 10. She faded to 12th place, but still a brilliant ride there from the lady rider. Yep, Callis is now setting in. Make sure you join us after the break for Race 2 action from the 2021 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. Welcome back, race fans, to the Killarney circuit for Race 2 action of the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup, energized by Red Square. And a little bit more of race number 1, please, from you boys and girls out there. That was phenomenal racing, and what a way to kick off the new season.
David Endicott, 1 minute 14,1. That is the lap record. That is not that far off national pace, and it's quite unbelievable that these guys, you've got to remember, it's age group racing as well. Race 2 lining up now on the grid. Who's going to pick this one up? It is down to the wire, I think. Endicott, well, he's got to be pleased with that race number 1. But we wait for that 30-second board, then the 5-second board, and there'll be away racing.
Yeah, let's see if he can get the whole shot this time. Turn that pole position into a whole shot. Graham from Udar has been the man to beat off the line. Clint Munton, can he keep himself in the mix a little bit longer? I think the race pace is going to be a little bit slower. That wind's picked up, track conditions a little bit hotter, so it's all about maintaining the tyre wear from those bridgestones. Landy Sinden, she gets a really good start at the back of the field, but once again, Graham from Udar, Stefanuti Stocks Kawasaki machine, number 1 plate out front. The rest of the field, Henk skating around the outside of Ruan Olberhauser there. Johan Leroux not with the same kind of start. One of the riders going wide there. Was that Munton maybe, who's lost a lot of positions? Yes, the local man Munton, he's got a lot of work now to do if he wants to get himself back inside that top 3.
Johan Leroux up the inside of Munton, the last of the late breakers. And we'll be seeing more of him this race, I'm pretty sure. He was kind of stuck in no man's land behind Michael Smith and Brian Bontekonen in the first race. So hopefully we'll see him in the mix this time around.
On board here with Ruan Olberhauser, and just watch that helmet and that body just get flung from left to right. This really is one of the most physically demanding tracks in South African motorcycle racing as they come onto the back straight now. For the first time, I'm asking a brilliant start there from Brian Bontekonen. Looks like he's up inside that top 5. Ian Harwood's got Landy Sinden all over the back end of him. And let's see, Slipstream City time, Graham from Udar. Can he defend from Rob Craig? On the inside, Rob Craig was forced to the inside of the track. Is he going to be able to pull it tight? Yes, that is the beauty of this final corner. The embankment allows you just to run it up and get that drive. From Udar has now got to settle there in 2nd place. David Endicott in 3rd and Jacques Ackerman. So our 4 protagonists from race number 1 right in the mix. Brian Bontekonen, brilliant start there from him up inside that top 5.
And he's got Johan Leroux in the tow as well. So more from Leroux this time around. Munton a bit further back than he would have liked. Just fluffed it a little bit at the start, but back at the front, it's the Mad Max Motorcycles leading. That is Rob Craig. He'd be waiting to just try and break a wave. If you can break the toe, Rob, that's the secret of this track, isn't it? Because then they can't slip you all the way down to Cape Town corner.
That's exactly what he's doing. You can see from Udar, they're closing the outside line there for Endicott. So he's learned from race number 1, using his racecraft there. And we saw this in race 1. Rob Craig's got great early pace, but does he maybe just burn it a little bit? The other guys just take their time, get themselves into a rhythm, get the heat in the Bridgestone tyres before they attack. But Rob Craig's got a good setup there. He's able to push from the word go. Jacques Ackerman, he wants to get on that podium. He was so close in race 1. Let's see if he can do it in race number 2.
Ackerman can taste it. You can see him there. He's like a dog with a bone. He's just hanging on. He's got the back of Endicott and he is not letting go. And look at the dices behind. That is fantastic stuff from Michael Smith. Brian Bontekonen in there with Johan Leroux. Clint Munton is just coming up amongst them now. He's made a move.
Yeah, he's starting to make a move there. Michael Smith loses out to the local man. So Munton, after that not so good start on the back end of Brian Bontekonen in his return to ZX10 Cup Masters Racing, out front from Udar in the slipstream there of Rob Craig. Will we see a move going into turn 1? He's side by side across the line. Are we going to see the number 1 plate come? There comes Bontekonen and Munton. Michael Smith right on their tail. Jacques Ackerman is there in 4th. Have we got a change up for the lead? It looks like we do. Graham from Udar uses the slipstream to perfection. This is what he has to do. He cannot let these local guys get into a rhythm. He's got to upset it as much as possible. And that's exactly what he's doing for now. Again, Endicott trying to take that David Endicott Express line around the outside. No space there for him. But our top 3 just starting to edge away now from 4th place man. That is Jean Ackerman.
The view from Rob Craig's Mad Max Motorcycles bike. Look at the lean angle that Graham from Barra's got. Wow, he's got that bike cranked right over. And Damslip, as you know, has got a big bump in the middle of it. You've got to be so careful as you go into the double apex of Malmesbury.
And these more production machines, remember, they can't do a lot to these bikes. That'll suit the Killarney track really well. It's kind of like the Isleman TT. The super stock bikes just adjust to the track a lot better, and you can see these riders taking full advantage. Lap times, despite on the same tyres from race 1, still running low 15s. That is incredible pace from these riders at the first round of the new season. But again, these Cape Town boys can just see that Joburg target in front of them. I remember speaking to the local guys, and they always used to say there was no chance we're going to let a Joburg guy win here. And Clint Munton's done that now. He's got ahead of that second pack, ahead now of Brian Bontequin and Michael Smith, and he leads out that. But unfortunately, he's lost that vital toe to the leading pack.
Ron LaRue flies through there. We go back to the leading group as they come out of turn number 1 up to turn number 2. Van Bedar has still got the lead, but I think Rob Craig is looking, thinking, which corner can I do it? And when he does it, he's going to want to try and break away. That's the secret.
Yeah, he's maybe changing his tactics a little bit from race number 1. Landy Sinden on the inside of Aubrey Marais. Oh, that was a tight line. That would have been really brave to pull that off. Ian Harwood having one of his better rides right on the tailpipe there of Landy Sinden. Rob Craig, I think, changing the tactics up here a little bit. Letting Graham from Bedard do all the hard work up front and leading, and then doing what Enticott did in race number 1. The time to pounce towards the end of the race, make that move happen. Such a pity we don't have local fans here cheering on their local boys, because they are doing a phenomenal job. But at the moment, it's the Joburg man with that big number 1 plate. Stefanudi Stocks, Graham from Bedar, came back into the new season with the new sponsor Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup, and he's come to win another title.
I still think David Enticott is making plans. He did this in race number 1, don't forget. He held it towards the end. Once he hit the front, he just simply broke away. But from Bedar, wow, look at that. He's really going much quicker this time through the kink. Remember the first race, he's a little bit hesitant through there. This time he's on it.
And you can see there's Ruan Alberhauser. Travis Nordia not having the same kind of race he did in race number 1. He's now finds himself a little bit further back, could be potentially outside the top 10 as we go on board. Alberhauser, one of the most improved riders over there, just gets the business done, gets the job done, sneaks himself right in the mix, and he's doing another brilliant job. Hank Scaling, Clint Munton's dropped down quite a bit there, so he's lost quite a few places. Not sure what's happened.
Must have made a mistake out on track, because Hank Scaling seems to have closed up. Just look at the lap time. He lost 2 seconds in that lap. So Clint Munton clearly has a problem, or he made a mistake.
Yeah, and it's so easy to do around the Killarney circuit. Enticott's losing time here on the 2, so I hope that tactic is going to come into play as he did in race number 1, where he's going to close that gap. But remember, again, you're on a race old tyres. It's about managing those tyres. The wind has picked up. Track temperatures are a little bit higher now from the cars in the national superbikes. So not the same kind of conditions we had in race 1. Down the back straight. Here comes Clint Munton now on the inside of Travis Nordia. Does he make it stick? Yes, he does. So whatever mistake he made, he's settling now and starting to make up positions.
He'll be kicking himself because he wasn't that far off the leading group. As we go back with our leaders, Graham from Bedar, much smoother this time around. I think after race 1, it was all just happening too quickly for him. A little bit of rust going in there because they hadn't raced for a while. So this time around, it's all happening in slow motion compared to the speed of light.
Yeah, it looks like they've just slowed the front end of that bike down. It's not diving as fast, not coming up as fast. So it looks like it's a little bit more planted to the tar, and that's helping the old school GP style that is Graham from Bedar. Those nice wide swooping lines, but he looks behind him. He's got 3 very fast local men, and Rob Craig's in the slipstream now. Which way is he going to go?
He's going out wide.
He has to go out wide. From Bedar's forcing him out wide, but that is almost the prime line, and he's going to just cut across the nose of the Stefanudi Stocks bike. Does he? Yes, he does. So a change up. So I think Rob Craig has maybe got the pit board telling him that Enticott and Ackerman are coming. You've got to get ahead of From Bedar, and if you've got the pace, try and pull away.
Graham from Bedar up the inside. Is he going to do it on the brakes into turn 1 like he did 2 laps ago? Yes, he does. Van Bedar leads one more time. What a fantastic race we're having here on the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. We know why it's the premier motorcycle formula. They've got the numbers and they've got the riders who are doing the business out on the track.
These guys just never fail to disappoint. Year in and year out, we think, how's it going to get any better? And if this is the way the season's going to start, I cannot wait for this new championship. And Sunbet are licking their lips at the fact that they've put their money and their brand behind the stalwart class in South African motorcycle racing. Rob Craig, now can he fight back? David Entercott's coming, and that is what Rob Craig is worried about. He knows that if Entercott gets out front, he won't have the pace to run. Back marker thrown in the mix as well. I would not want to be you. Get out of the way, please. You've got 4 steam trains, green steam trains coming through, but they should be able to blast past down the back straight. Yes, they do, but Rob Craig, prime position in the slipstream. Blue flags are waving. David Entercott goes around the outside, 5 abreast as they go down the back straight. Who's going to get the optimum line? Rob Craig around the outside. Here comes Entercott from Bidar, leg out, and it is Rob Craig who gets to the front. Jacques Ackerman is now closed up. A 4-way battle. It's going to be a drag to the line in the final stages of this race.
Unbelievable racing as we go through that kink at well over 200 k's per hour up against the wall. From Bidar, tight. Is he going to make it to the line this time around? Oof, that is almost line astern as they come down towards turn. And from Bidar again on the brakes. This is his best part of the track, no doubt about it. But Rob Craig, importantly, is very good coming out of Malmesbury and into the final turn. So if it comes down to the checkered flag dice, that's where it's going to be.
And Graham from Bidar, the sly old fox Moto 3 style, gets on the brakes and cuts straight across the nose of Rob Craig. Doesn't allow him to fight back. David Entercott sitting there going, where am I going to pass now? Rob Craig's taking up all the track that he wants to try and make the move on from Bidar. So Entercott, your race 1 winner and pole position man, is going to have to change up his tactics a bit. And Jacques Ackerman just hanging on there. He's on the older ZX10 machine, so maybe just doesn't have the same kind of power, but doing everything he can to hold onto the back of this and get himself onto that podium.
Ackerman is putting in a fantastic performance here. He's got the best seat in the house. If any of these riders make a mistake as we go down the last lap, he's going to pick up that podium position, no doubt about it.
Here we go, Slipstream City now for the final time of asking down the back straight. Can Rob Craig get it? Here comes David Entercott around the outside. Rob Craig's going to close the nose. Yes, he does. He's kind of done that the last couple of laps, but now the question is, can he hold it to the line? It is a slipstream race now to the line from Bidar. We know how fast that machine is. Does he get the drive? Oh, this is going to be close. Entercott holds it there. Rob Craig's going to have to close that line, but here comes from Bidar.
Inside.
Oh, there's going to be a photo finish. It's going to be Rob Craig, just the local man. I think from Bidar thinks he's got that to the line. We're going to have to wait and see for final confirmation there. And here it is. It is Rob Craig by 5,000ths of a second ahead of Graham from Bidar. David Entercott again on the podium ahead of Jacques Ackerman and Michael Schmidt. But let's go down to pit lane and catch up with race winner Rob Craig.
Yeah, we were swapping positions every lap. It was super tight. The wind was obviously a factor in turn 3, so all of us were very tentative through there. But yeah, I mean, Graham and I had a nice tussle. Yeah, bike performed great thanks to my team and Mad Max Kawasaki and all the sponsors around. I mean, it's been an awesome event.
David Entercott on the Sarum Engineering and Motorwise Kawasaki is your rider of the day and new lap record holder.
We're throwing a couple of chips in at it in race 1 and race 2. Race 2 was super exciting. It was difficult to watch. Graham and Rob changed positions almost every corner. I tried to sneak in and do a few moves myself here or there, but it was super tough. Thanks for all the support from all the family back home, or rather here, locally, and for our sponsors for making it possible. Thank you very much.
There you have it then, our top 3 riders from round 1 of the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. What a way to kick off the new season. Make sure you catch all the action from the next round at Swartkops on the 17th of April. All this Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup action is energized by Red Square.